Okay, I don't see anybody trickling in, and I don't see any more folks in the waiting room. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the meeting. Welcome to the 12th Community Advisory Committee meeting for the Vincent Thomas Bridge Deck Replacement Project. We're going to start off with attendance as noted on the agenda here this evening. So I'm just going to call it out as I see it here on my list. Alex Brown.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alex Brown, environmental scientist, Caltrans District 7.
Thank you, Alex. Eric Morin.
Hello, my name is Eric Morin with the Pacific Maritime Association.
Thank you, Eric. Gregory Parks. Gregory, if you're speaking, you might still be on mute.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Gregory Parks. I'm with the Skanska CEC joint venture. I'm the community outreach specialist.
Thank you. And then Zhenrong.
Good afternoon, General Wang, Caltrans Bridge Design, Senior Bridge Engineer.
Thank you. Joey King.
Good afternoon, Joey King with the Office of Senator Lena Gonzalez. Thank you for having us at the meeting.
Thank you for attending. Ken Young.
Good evening, everyone. Ken Young, Caltrans Office of District Traffic Manager.
Michael Francis.
Yeah, I'm Mike Francis, Caltrans Area Construction Manager for Structure Construction.
Monica Garcia. Monica, you might still be on mute. Okay, maybe having some audio difficulties.
Sorry, okay, yes, I'm here. Sorry, I was having difficulty. Monica Garcia Diaz, Wilmington Chamber of Commerce. Good to be here, thanks.
Thank you, Monica. And then Ray Regalado.
Hi there, Ray Regalado, President, Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council. And if I sound a little different, I came up with bronchitis over the weekend, so it's been fun.
Well, I hope you're not too under the weather. We do appreciate you joining, Ray. You always give great input. Thank you. Rima.
Hello, Rima Chebileva, Project Manager for this project from Caltrans.
Sume.
Good evening, Sume Tan, Caltrans Office of Mobility Programs.
Thank you. And then Steve.
Steve Bowie with Long Beach Unified School District.
Thank you, Steve. And then Wilfred.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Wilfred Domingo from the Office of Mobility Programs, Caltrans District Division of Operations.
Okay, now it looked like I pretty much have everybody. Did I miss anybody? I think I did pretty good this time. Okay, with that, I'm going to hand it over to Rima for the Caltrans greeting. Rima?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 12th Community Advisory Committee meeting. Happy 1-year anniversary. We appreciate the time you're contributing to these meetings, and we're very grateful to each member of the committee for helping us deliver this project successfully and with minimal impact. Thank you for being here tonight. Right?
Thank you, Rima. And then Paul, let's go to, I believe it's slide 4, please. So just to recap our previous meeting minute action items, it's to upload the minutes and the recording to the project site, the virtual meeting room, and the project site. So that's all been taken care of. So please, if you did miss meeting number 11, you can go there, you can pull the minutes or the recording and view what we talked about in discussions there, or view those in the meeting minutes. With that, I'm going to hand it back to Rima for the TAC meeting overview. Rima?
Thank you, Brad. So at the last week's Technical Advisory Committee meeting, we shared the following presentation. We talked about draft ERA, which included the circulation of draft environmental document, outreach update, general overview of public comments, environmental process, and how to comment. And I believe we're going to repeat it tonight as well. We also presented the area project coordination map and schedule. The conversation that followed our presentation, we talked that internal coordination with Caltrans project team for the Western Avenue pavement improvement project is needed. The concern was about traffic impacts that Vincent Thomas Bridge and other projects in the area might have on Western Avenue Route 213 pavement rehabilitation project. And we will be talking about this project later on tonight. Also, several agencies reported that they are reviewing our draft environmental document and getting ready to submit their formal comments. The Harbor Trucking Association is also planning to submit comments, and they noted that their preference would be a full closure option. The Metropolitan Water District and Caltrans will be in future coordination on the Pure Water Conveyance project. We're going to talk about schedule on Sepulveda Boulevard segment. Ray, did I miss anything?
Actually, no. I appreciate that you're going to go into the Western Avenue project. Let's see. I think at this particular point, that was one of the things that our community has been pretty concerned about, the coordination. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Okay, Brett.
Thank you, Rima. And with that, next slide, Paula. So we're just going to go over the circulation of the draft EIR EA. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Alex for the schedule.
Thanks, Brad. I'm going to go over the environmental schedule for the project. We presented this slide many times before. Many of you have seen this before. But we are currently in the 90-day circulation period for the draft EIR EA, where you see the light blue arrow on the screen. Caltrans is soliciting comments from the public, agencies, and project area stakeholders till July 15th, which is a little less than 3 weeks from now. Once the comment period closes for the draft environmental document, Caltrans will compile all comments received and officially respond to them in the final environmental document, which will be released in the late summer or early fall of this year. The construction staging option chosen and official detail routes for the project will be revealed at that time in the release of the final EIR EA. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Alex. And just to recap, so far to date, again, Alex just mentioned the commenting period started April 16th. It's going to go to Monday, July 15th. To date, we have received, at 6:25, I apologize. We received 208 comments. 96 of those comments came through project emails. 39 came from the virtual meeting room. Total of paper comments received at the public hearings were 29. In person, which would be the in-person public hearings, 38 verbally. And then for the virtual public hearing via the court reporter, we had a total of 6. So total comments to date as of yesterday, 208. Next slide, please. In addition to that, just highlighting the virtual meeting room, we've had over 3,400 people visit this virtual meeting room. I did pull a stat too. So when we did start this process, when we went to scoping, we also had the virtual meeting room. In total, so the 3,400 unique users are from the commenting period from April 16th until yesterday. But in total, we've had over 8,100 people visit that virtual meeting room, which has been a really great, helpful tool, I think, for the community in pushing information out. So, but just for this commenting period, we've had 3,400 unique viewers go to that room. 13 people have registered and 39 people have made comments to that virtual meeting room. Next slide, please. Just to kind of recap, we had 3 public hearings. The first was a virtual public hearing. That was May 1st. The second was an in-person on May 30th. And then the third was June 13th at Peck Park Community Center. You can see the number of attendees. For the virtual was 43, Wilmington 68, and then Peck Park 69. We've got listed there in that matrix comments verbal that we received and comment cards and those representative people that did show up. So I appreciate you all showing up. I see some familiar faces here on the screen this evening. Next slide, please. So comments received, and this is not, the full list, but these are kind of the majority of what we're hearing. Repair to local Wilmington streets before construction, trucking regulations and enforcement, alternative detour concerns and suggestions of detours, coordination with simultaneous projects, concern for additional traffic impacts, CHP and Port Police traffic management, notification to EMS and other impacted health agencies, a wider bridge for bike and emergency lanes, and to build a second bridge. We kind of group those two together. Life expectancy of materials, and then closure preferences. As Rima had mentioned earlier, there's been some preference for the full closure. Next slide, please. We'll just go to touch base again, how to comment. And again, the April 16th was when we started commenting. Monday, it ends Monday, July 15th. You were able to provide comments written and verbal at the public hearings. You can directly mail your comments to Jason Roach, a senior environmental planner with Caltrans. You can email them to the emails at caltransvtb@virtualeventroom.net. Just put in the subject line VTB deck replacement project. And then earlier, as I was talking about the online virtual meeting room. So those are the ways that people have been able to comment and are still able to comment up to Monday, July 15th. Next slide, please. And then this is just highlighting the three virtual, the one virtual and the two in-person public hearings. Again, the first public hearing was Wednesday, May 1st. And then we had two in-persons, Thursday, May 30th at the Wilmington Recreation Center. And then our last one, Thursday, June 13th, at the Peck Park Community Center. We did have some good representation, as I mentioned earlier, and just want to thank you all for getting the word out to all the folks that did attend. Next slide, please. Go to outreach. And again, I kind of sound like a broken record, but we do have till July 15th, and that's the end of the commenting period. In terms of information that we pulled out, not only to the Community Advisory Committee, but the Technical Advisory Committee, we did push out the toolkit. Those were distributed on Thursday, April 11th and Wednesday, May 1st, with sample social media text and graphics. I do have a question, and Ray, not to put you on the spot, but I know you have bronchitis, but how's it been in terms of you reporting back to your neighborhood council and kind of pushing the information out? Has that been well received, or?
Actually, yeah, we've had a lot of interest, when we're having many one-on-one conversations with community members as we go out into the community for various reasons. I mean, I've had conversations with people as I'm standing in line at the market and things like that, and others have also. And I think one of the surprising things out there is that there is still a level of individuals who aren't really sure what this redecking project's all about. And we have done a really good job in trying to get people to go to the virtual site, and but we're trying to do our best to help them understand the importance of understanding what's going on. So there has been, through the neighborhood council process, through the individuals who we talk to among ourselves, our committees and things like that, we have been really talking the project up so that people are aware and people can get information. So I think it's the information is well received. They're happy that there is information out there. And we try to make sure that they understand that we are not taking a position, as to how the project should work. Whether we're promoting the project or not, it's a matter of people taking the responsibility of getting the information and providing their own input if they like. But there will be letters coming from specific neighborhood councils, as you've got in Wilmington. We're developing ours right now. And I believe Central, San Pedro, and Coastal is also putting together a letter which identifies what their constituencies are talking about and feeling as we speak to them.
Thank you for that update. And I'm just going to open it up for additional people on this call that's representative. Can anybody give me an update on kind of any discussions they've had or pushing the word out on behalf of the project? I don't mean to put anybody on the spot, but I just, we're just trying to gauge in terms of, maybe conversations or how it's been going. Well, I don't see anybody with their hand raised, but if you think of something when we get to open discussion, again, we're just trying to gauge. We just want to make sure that, the word's getting out, that people have the information, as Ray mentioned. It's key that, the folks engage during the commenting period. So with that, we'll move on to the next slide, which I'm going to hand it off to Wilfred. Wilfred?
Hi, good evening again, everybody. So hopefully you can hear me properly.
Yes.
So this is our preliminary detail route. So it hasn't changed much since the beginning. The only major one for those who haven't been able to attend us for the previous meetings, that we removed that portion of Alameda Street between PCH and Sepulveda because of the Alameda Street widening project that the city will be doing. So in order to mitigate further impact within the stretch of the roadway, we moved that to Route 103. So that's the big change that we have on this detail route since the beginning. So, and I just want to make sure that just because of the concern that Ray brought up on our TAC meeting, just take note that in along the PCH area, we have that detour route between 110 up to the Route 103. And we have a project that I will be showing you later on and how we're trying to mitigate the impact of that project. So next slide, please. So this is the project I'm talking about. We have a Caltrans project, Project K. That is the CAP-M project that is a long stretch. So this is impacting the detour route that I'm talking about. So what we did is we work with our project managers to make this portion of the detour route as the priority. So they will be constructing that as the priority, and by the time that we begin the VTB project, that portion will be done. Okay, so that is the one that how we mitigate that project. So the new one that I added is projects P and Q. Project P is the Western Avenue project that Ray mentioned during our TAC meeting. And I added also Project Q. Project Q is an ADA improvement project just to the west of 710 along PCH. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay. So again, for those who have not attended our previous meeting, I would like to thank the City of LA and Project B because they were able to adjust their schedule and have that completed 1 year earlier. So thank you to the city of LA. Project H, which is also going to be in conflict, and I think it's being delayed. So for now, it's now July of 2026 as the proposed start of that construction. So it could be, so that is a tentative schedule for now. So in terms of the project that Ray mentioned during the TAC meeting, that's Project P. I communicated with our project engineers who's doing the design and traffic handling. So according to them, based on our detour route, they don't. It doesn't appear to impact that Western project or vice versa. And although they have not prepared the traffic handling plans, they don't really anticipate adding a significant amount of traffic into the surrounding VTB community. So that is Project P. And then Project Q, which is the ADA improvement project on PCH just west of 710. We had a PDT meeting also on that, and the city is in that meeting. And we were also based on the project engineers who's doing the design and traffic handling. That project will also not impact the VTB project and the surrounding communities. So again, we're constantly doing our talking to the project managers, our own project managers, and the project managers of our the cities, the counties, and other agencies. So we're trying to really do our best to minimize the impact of especially these communities surrounding the Vincent Thomas Bridge. So that's the latest that we have right now in terms of the project coordination and minimizing the cumulative impact of all these projects in the area.
Thank you, Wilfred. And I'm just going to open it there. Is there any questions from any CAC members in terms of what Wilfred just discussed at all, or?
Brad, may I add something to what Wilfred just said? Yeah, I just want to add something to what Wilfred just said about the two Caltrans project. You know, the especially the Western Avenue CAPM project that I think Ray and the community was concerned about. I'm trying to explain more about the traffic pattern, how these two projects will not impact each other. Because the VTB closure, we do study traffic diversion as part of our big traffic study. The impacted movement is actually east-west directed. So those are the movement that will be diverted, going from west to east and vice versa because of the Vincent Thomas Bridge closure. So when we divert traffic, it is unlikely that they're going to go west all the way to Western Avenue and traverse north. So the impact really will be, if any north-south movement, we will see is on Gaffney Street, which is shown in our traffic study. So Gaffney Street, west of 110, will see a little bit of traffic increase because of the Vincent Thomas Bridge closure. But traffic is unlikely to go all the way to Western because of Vincent Thomas Bridge to make that north-south travel. And we did also study origin destination for 8 locations. So we randomly picked locations from San Pedro to Long Beach, from Carson to a certain hospital. So those are the spots that we're trying to study, right? If we close this bridge under this closure, how is traffic going to go? And the most time we see an increase is about 15 minutes. I think it was from San Pedro to, I forgot, Pier T. That was one of the OD that we studied, which was presented in the traffic study report. And that one was the highest time increase, just about 15 minutes increase in, the traffic diversion as a result of traffic diversion. But if the traffic, is going to go west to Western and go north and then come back, it is going to be way more than 15 minutes. So we want to see, I read the OD data again after Ray brought up the concern, because I want to be able to provide a better explanation from a traffic diversion and pattern perspective. So it is unlikely that these two closures will impact each other in terms of traffic diversion. I think that was what the city and community was concerned about. The pavement project closure, like I mentioned to you, Ray, before, is not a continuous 10-mile closure. As we do pavement project, we go section by section. So the closure really will be confined to one segment. They finish this segment, this side of the road, and then they move on to the next one. So the impact, it's more localized. Maybe we're seeing like a little bit of a queue up to maybe another downstream, upstream intersection. But it is not an impact we're going to see like the Vincent Thomas Bridge closure, because a bridge closure is entire bridge, right? So everybody will impact it. But the pavement project is like a rolling closure. So the impact is more localized. But what I want to say is the traffic diversion of the two projects will not interfere with each other. So the north-south movement and the east-west movement, they will try to find their way, to the destination. But the pavement project will not have a negative impact on the Vincent Thomas Bridge closure because they have different travel pattern. So I just want to add to what Wilfred was saying. From a map perspective, they're not conflicting each other but that may not explain it clear enough. From a traffic diversion and modeling perspective, they have different movement, which is not likely to cross each other. So I hope that explains it a little bit better. But I know the comments will be coming in writing, and I will, we'll try to provide a better explanation in writing. But since we have everybody here, I just want to kind of explain that since we have a chance here.
Paula, can you move the slide to the map, please? And then thank you. And then does anybody have any questions after Sune just gave that explanation?
Yeah, I'll try my best to explain, but again, I say when the comment comes in writing, we'll provide a formal response. But since we're all here, we have a chance to talk and discuss, so we'll do that.
Ray, yes, go ahead.
As I look at, and I'll mention, I think I did mention this at the CAC meeting, for those individuals, for those residents that live in the San Pedro community, the probably the most used north-south ways is going to be Western and in Gaffey, and many people take the access from Gaffey onto the bridge entry, right off of Gaffey there, and that's a real concern with community. However, for those people trying to avoid those projects, they definitely do use Western. They definitely use Gaffey to get around that for those people who know it. I'm not going to argue the fact that it may not be impacting, but I'm hoping that perhaps if it does impact during special times, as the project progresses, if there is an opportunity to be able to coordinate, look at it, and perhaps maybe even look at it a little bit more detail. I'm telling you, being stuck on Western on a regular day is not a fun thing. So that kind of leads me to my second kind of question. You indicated that it's not going to be a full project, the whole distance from 25th all the way up to the 405. So I'm wondering if there is something that the Western project might have available to the public, so that they're understanding what segment of Western will be worked on, so that those areas can be avoided, coming from the project coordinators for that particular project. Because I think that would also be helpful, for the community in trying to navigate in and out of San Pedro.
Yeah, understood. So there are often, definitely opportunities for us to, look into the detail to see how we can better coordinate. I don't believe the stage construction plan is ready yet, right, Rima? I think they're still in PAED, I believe. So I don't believe they have the staging plans yet, right?
Yes, they're in PAED phase.
So they don't have the staging plans yet. But those things are not rigid. Once we learn more about the other project, once we have a better understanding as our project move along, then we'll have a chance to look at it and see if there's anything that we can do to kind of minimize the conflict by looking at the segments and how the work is going to be done. So Ray, yes. So we will be monitoring each other, they and us, and do a better communication so that now that this is brought to attention, we'll definitely look for a closer coordination. And when we have the information to share with the tech and the CAC, we'll certainly do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Joey, I see your hands raised.
Yeah, just a quick question. I see the information for the Alameda Corridor project on here. I'm not seeing the dates. I know it shows conflict, but what were the dates for the Alameda Corridor project? Is that going to run concurrent with this this work on the bridge?
Can you move it to the next slide, Brad, for the schedule? So this is the to the right the proposed schedule for now, and we're trying to coordinate with the project managers to maybe accelerate, delay, or anything that they can do to minimize the cumulative impact of all these projects.
Okay, I appreciate that. Does that take into account the rail project as well?
Oh, if there's any other projects that is not in here, please let us know so that we can all accommodate those into the our studies.
Wilfred, this is Project J, rail project.
J is our project, our own.
Okay, I see it. All right,
Yeah,
thank you for clarifying that.
Do any other questions? Just raise your hand before we move on. Okay, seeing no more raised hands, let's move to the next slide for open discussion. Again, before we close this evening, I just want to open it to the floor for CAC members or for Caltrans. Any items or questions from the team? Rima.
Thank you, Ray. I want to ask Ray, when we started these community meetings, we designated 2 representatives from each neighborhood council. And now we see only you attending and sometimes Wilmington. So did you mention one time that you represent all of them, or I miss, or it's not right?
Well, within our neighborhood council system, we do have interaction between each individual neighborhood councils. We do talk to each other, and I will tell you that because of work schedules and things like that, some people are not as consistent. I have the advantage of being retired, so I have the opportunity to schedule. But Wilmington, they're very much into their project work that's specific to their area. Just to give you an example, the project work that's really heavy right now, which I'm not exactly sure, we've had conversations about this with Harbor City, that they're impacted very heavily with issues of homelessness. Right now, you got I think a very comprehensive report from Wilmington. They do talk to each other, especially with the representative from the chamber from Wilmington there. They have very good lines of communication, and we all communicate. And it's the same with what goes on with San Pedro. We have 3 different neighborhood councils, people, having different assignments in their free time, because this is free time for everybody. I mean, this is the time this is how they spend their free time. Because like I said, working in a neighborhood council environment is, even though you're an elected official and you're looked upon by the city of Los Angeles as an elected official, this is volunteer. So
yeah, of course,
but you do have to be elected representing your community.
we just, our concern is maybe we don't have, maybe people got reelected and we don't have right contacts. But as long as the information getting transferred to them through you, we understand. Of course, it's a volunteer effort.
Yeah, so we are talking to each other.
Okay. Thank you.
And then Ray, I saw your hand raised. Did you have another question prior to that dialogue?
Let me see. You know what the tough part about being retired is that usually older people are retiring and sometimes they forget. So thank you, Rima, for helping me forget what I was going to say. If it pops up, I'll throw it out there. Oh no, I do remember now. See, when you're not thinking about it, it just appears. What I wanted to do is I wanted to really thank Caltrans for being out in San Pedro. You had a lot of people there representing various segments of the community. They were really engaged. We have continued to have conversations, especially between the city council representatives, our neighborhood councils, and our regular residents who appeared and sat in and listened. So I just want to thank you for coming out to San Pedro and being out there showing, being there in force and being very open with your information, and also being very open about receiving the information that people were passing along to you all. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Anybody else have any questions or like to make a comment? Okay, I don't see any. Let's go to the next slide, Paula. So in terms of action items, we are going to, as normal, put together the meeting minutes of tonight's meeting. And then we'll also post the video, the recording of this meeting on the project site. So the video will be posted no later than Friday, and we'll get those meeting minutes up as well. Next slide. So our next meeting is going to be Tuesday, July 24th. I can't believe we're already in July. We have the Caltrans contact information, which is Rima there. I just want to thank you all for making an effort, for showing up and being a part of this community advisory committee meeting. I just want to wish everybody a wonderful 4th of July. And then Ray, thank you for all the input, and I hope you do feel better. So with that, we're going to close the meeting. And I just want to, again, appreciate everybody for showing up this evening.
Can I make just one quick question? I'm sorry.
Sure. No, yeah, sure.
The date you have is on the agenda. You have it on as Wednesday, the 24th. You have it Tuesday, the 24th. And I believe the actual day is Wednesday.
You are correct. Eagle eyes you got there, Ray, even as you're under weather. We appreciate that. We'll make that change to the presentation.
Great, thank you.
Posted. Thank you, Ray. Thank you again. Everybody have a great evening.
Thank you.